Good afternoon from a soggy San Antonio, something I don't get to say very often. Today we're looking at Mission United, militaries and veteran programs from the United Way. Before we get started, little housekeeping. This presentations from the San Antonio Coalition of Veterans and Families. Our mission, the immediate assistance for homeless and veterans. Please feel free to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. It helps us a great deal. We're fortunate today to have a very good guest presenter, Takesa Mike. She's with the Military Outreach Coordinator at the Mission United. I have her contact info there. A little bit about their mission. I'll let people read that. But I gotta admit, I hadn't thought about the United Way and mission with veterans, and we're gonna talk about that today. Some of the services offered: military navigators, resource information, comprehensive services. And again, you can look, we're going to hear more about that. Contact QR code for their website. On there, they have a contact page on their website, typical you input to. And without further ado, so nice to have you today.
Good afternoon. How are you, sir?
Very good. I was pleased to meet you the other day, and then I started thinking how little I knew about what the United Way did. Big umbrella organization, I just didn't think, or didn't take the time to think. So first of all, are you a veteran?
Yes, I am a veteran. I served 21 years, all active duty in the Air Force. Been retired almost 11 years. I was Security Forces Combat Arms member.
Wow. So how did you get into doing this?
I've only been with United Way a short period of time. I hired on back in March, and I was leaving the education world. I worked for Northside for several years, but I heard about the job, and helping veterans has always been something passionate that I wanted to do. Just helping the community in general. So when I had the opportunity to hire on with United Way, it was like a life fulfilling moment because it was something, like I said, that I've always wanted to do. Be a part of the community, reach out to the community. Um, I have several family members who are veterans, and I see the hardship, especially older veterans. My father was a Vietnam veteran, a Desert Shield, Desert Storm veteran. Uncle, same thing, Vietnam veterans and all, and just a lack of services that they've received over the course of time. So I've always just wanted to step in where I could and help get them, everybody, anybody, what they needed to further and better their lives.
That's super. So here we are in Military City,
Yes,
and I went to a typical veterans event and I see someone from the United Way.
yes,
And I'm almost dumbstruck because I didn't equate the United Way with veteran services, and not because they're not out there, whatever. I just never made the connection. So
yes.
tell me about the services the United Way provides.
So United Way has many services. Actually, I never knew how many services they had for veterans until I started working for them. My whole career, I've donated to United Way. As you know, as a military, they have those campaigns, but I never fully understood what they did completely until I started working for them. So first, we have Mission United. Mission United is we have navigators within the program that help military veterans. So the first thing I have to talk about is 211. 211 is a national hotline that fields through United Way. It's a 24-hour service, 7 days a week. You're always going to get a real person that's going to answer the telephone. And veterans do have preference. Veterans and service members have preference, and they will get a phone call back regarding a follow-up about their services that they're requesting. So when they call into that number and they're asking for resources, whether it be food assistance, housing assistance, some legal assistance, crisis management, whatever is going on in their life, they're going to get an individual to answer the phone. And as the navigators under Mission United, that is their job to field those phone calls and help fill those voids for those veterans and help get them the services. Um, And so, like I said, we have many, many programs, and we're a resource hotline. So we may not take care of everything in-house, but we have mission partners where we're okay if they need, medical treatment. We have mission partners that we reach out to that provide that medical treatment, or if they, like I said, some of the resources that they need for their homes, we reach out to those individuals to help fill those needs. We can't do everything, but we're going to get them the resources. A lot of the times you ask for a resource and you jumped on a rabbit hole and you get a dead end, you hit a dead end and you don't know what to do next. Calling us, we have all those resources right there. We provide you the assistance, get you a phone call back if you need it, a follow-up phone call, and make sure you're taken care of. Um, in addition to that, we have some other programs. Strong Family, Strong Forces is a program for service members, veterans, and it's geared for it's for the family. So for this program, it requires that you have a child in the home 0 to 17, and what that program does is it provides it's a communication building course. And so military families are always transitioning. We're always, whether it's deployments, it's PCS, retirements, whatever we're doing, military is always transitioning. So this is a communication course that helps build communication. A lot of the times, parents are doing all of these things, but they forget about the perspective of the child and what is the child thinking and how is the child feeling. And so, in Strong Family, Strong Forces, it's an 8 session or 8 week course that just helps you build it's family bonding. It's cool little exercises where they come together, and you just rediscover your family and build upon the relationships of your family. So that's a fantastic course that we have. um, any questions about that?
Yeah, I think I do. This is Military City. We have many veterans, we have many active
Hmm.
duties. What seems to be the obstacles for people getting services?
Just not knowing about the services, just like you mentioned, a lot of people do not know about United Way. There are several services that are offered on the military installations through the MFRCs. They have family readiness. They have going to they're able to go to their first sergeants. They're able to navigate all of those things on the installation. But the problem is getting the word off the base, and then again, a lot of times, especially active service members, they may be a little bit of fear of coming, or going to that liaison there on the base. So finding the resource off base is just as challenging. um, so I think the biggest obstacle is just finding the resource and knowing that we are here. United Way has been around for a very, very long time,
Mm,
but once again, people do not know all the resources that are available through United Way. um, Most recently, we got a new resource, or a new program through United Way. It's called Military Dual Generation. Military Dual Generation is grant funded by USAA, and what it does is it provides subsidized childcare for those service members, veterans, or the spouses who are trying to go back to school. Again, military families, does everybody struggle with? Childcare, and the rising costs of childcare when they're trying to go to school. So now families have to choose, do we go to school, to be able to better stabilize their families, or what do we do? Typically spouses may have low, not as better paying jobs, or they may have to be forced to stay home with the children because once again, childcare costs so much. Do we get a job just so we can pay childcare? So what military dual generation does is it takes a part of that headache away. As long as the service member, the veteran, or the spouse is enrolled in school or attempting to re-enter the workforce, will provide subsidized childcare for them. Subsidized childcare meaning if they're re-entering the workforce, that could be up to 6 months of childcare to help once they get on the feet and get a couple of paychecks to help stabilize the home. Or if it's the military member and they're going to school, or the veteran or the spouse, if they're pursuing a certification, a degree up to a bachelor's degree, after pursuing some type of education, will provide a childcare subsidized for them while they're in the program. So that could mean up to 4 years, technically. If they're starting a brand new degree, we could help them along the way for 4 years with subsidized childcare if they're in and around the San Antonio area. Um, we do have some folks enrolled in the program that are sophomores, that are juniors, and the only requirement for that is to once again, live in Bear County and the surrounding areas, you must have a child under the age of 10 in the home for that. And like I said, the requirements of being the service member, the veteran, or a spouse.
You've had a long military career. You've had
Yes,
time to transition out and adjust.
yes.
Now you're working with veterans, among others. What surprised you as far as, ooh, I never thought of those needs, or ooh, I never thought people had those kind of concerns?
To be honest, nothing surprises me. For
Mhm.
majority, to be perfectly honest, the majority of my military career, I was a single parent, so I understand very well the child care problems. I remember specifically sending my children to private school because that was the only place that I could drop my kids off that early in the morning, still make
Right.
it to PT, still make it to work on time. So it forced me to put them in child care. Thankfully, I had the resources to do it, but when my children were young, that's 20 plus years ago, there were no resources like this to help subsidize childcare. Or and if they were resources, clearly in the military, I made too much money to be able to be a part of such programs. So the childcare that does not surprise me. What I do see is for young veterans getting out of the military, someone told them wrong, and them assuming that they're going to get out of the military and they're going to land on their feet perfectly and make all this money and they're going to be perfectly fine forever. That's badly communicated. They tell them that, oh yes, your job is great and it's going to transfer out of the military, and yes, you're going to walk out of the military and make 80, 90, 100 plus $1,000 a year, and that does not happen. Um, and that's a wake up call. So when I'm out doing outreach, I see lot of young families who struggle with basic needs because um, it's just that they got out. Now they're trying to go to school. They still had families. They have families. They have young kids, and so they're trying to balance on maybe a part-time job, trying to go to school, still trying to get VA benefits. Some of them. So they've got so many layers of the onion to peel
Mhm.
trying
Yeah.
to get resources. So they need all kinds of resources. And the problem of it is because they might have VA benefits, um, it could put them right over the threshold to be able to qualify for some of the programs out and around the community. So they're struggling, and it's a balancing act, and it's just a matter of a few dollars that puts them over or puts them under. And yeah, it's just a preparation. I don't feel like as a whole we prepare young folks for getting out and entering this work. The education piece lacks and for veterans and putting them when they leave the service, and keeping them informed for the benefits that are out there.
Since you've had the opportunity to do this job, do you see some things well that the San Antonio community does? You and I went to a presentation that I thought
Yes.
was very well done a couple weeks ago. What's the community doing well to catch up with some of the problems there are?
I think they're doing a fantastic job, the community as a whole, with getting veterans the services they need. In the short amount of time that I've worked for United Way, I've been to more career fairs, more job fairs, more housing fairs, all resource fairs in general to get the knowledge to the people. And the turnout among veterans is always fantastic. Every time I go to these meetings, these job fairs, these career fairs, I am blown away about the number of people, one, that show up, and then the types of resources that are there that I didn't even think about. Most recently, like I said, a housing fair. I went to a veterans housing fair, and I didn't know there were so many resources to provide housing for veterans, for low income housing or whatever it is. I had no idea all these programs were there. So I think the city does a fantastic job of hosting these types of things, putting them on. Um, Being connected with the veteran community and realizing that the veteran community has issues that we need to work through, that there's a shortfall somewhere. But I think the city does a fantastic job in trying to cover all the bases. There's always something going on for the veterans. There's always resources available. And just call us.
There you go. You
Worst
know,
case scenario, call us.
the VA advertises to reach out,
Yes.
and tries to do a really good job about covering benefits. But one of those reach out sources is definitely 211
Yes.
to explore a whole wide range of benefits. Well, that's super. So, what do you think about your job?
I love my job, and I'm not just saying that. I learn something new every day. I work with a great staff of people. I think everyone at United Way is very, very helpful. They've helped me learn my job, given me the resources to go out and do my job very effectively. So I'm really, really enjoying it. I feel like I said, I used to work for the school system for Northside, so I feel like this is an even bigger impact for me to give back even more. I mean, being able to be in the schools and work with children is one thing, and you have great impact on little ones. But to be able to be out and about the community, United Way has definitely given me the tools. My mind is smoking with ideas of what to do next and how to do next and how to impact the
Oh,
community and things that I can build upon, to help. And so I really enjoy working for United Way.
super. And kudos to you to getting out to so many events and
Thank you.
making your program visible. Okay, we both got out of the service. I got out a couple times, but you got out this century. I don't have
Yes.
that luxury. So you've seen what happens when you get out and sometimes be sort of being lost, even if you think you're prepared. So what's your advice to people getting out of the service, how to get started, how to get their feet on the ground?
So, it's preparation. And I know when I was getting out of the military, and like I said, this coming November, I make 11 years. And when I left the military, I was in a different state. So the first thing that I did before leaving the military was preparation. 2 years before I even got out, I started prepping, making sure that my finances were good, trying to decide where did I want to work, building that resume, looking at jobs. Um, Trying to check all the boxes. Like I said, I was a single parent, so I had two little people who were dependent on me to make
Mhm.
sure we landed on our feet, to make sure that things were solid. So I think it's preparation. Most importantly, I know some folks are medically discharged from the military and have to leave sooner than they want to, but for those who have the time to prepare, preparation is key. Use as many resources, find as many resources as possible. I know I got out of the military in Alabama, so I traveled back and I knew I was moving to San Antonio. So I traveled back several times, just like I did briefings here. I came to resource fairs here and job fairs here and did all kinds of things, traveling back and forth, just to make sure that I was prepared and that I knew what was going on when I retired from the military. I mean, and then once I've been here, it's just a matter of staying connected to your resources, your benefits, making sure you're getting your VA benefits taken care of and staying on it. It's a full-time job. I understand VA benefits are a full-time job. Making sure you get everything, but you have to do it. You have to attend the briefings. You have to attend the appointments, and following through on everything, checking. I mean, I remember making checklist after checklist after checklist. Have I done this? Have I done this? Have I talked to this person? Resources, resources, education benefits, I think are one of the most important things. I've tapped into every educational benefit that I can leaving the military. I've got a couple of degrees now following, just because staying up on such things, and unfortunately, a lot of people still just don't know, or they haven't done the homework. So, the biggest thing is tapping into the resources. You got to go find it. You got to ask the questions. You know, um, if you don't have, somebody's got the resource. That's what I have absolutely learned working for the United Way. Somebody's got the resource. Somewhere, somebody has an answer to what you're looking for. So, um, finding those resources, that is the biggest thing that I can give them, and just, yeah, educating yourself ahead of time.
And, and using 211 is one of those
211,
important tools.
absolutely.
Okay.
211, option one. 211, option one. Yes,
Yes. The 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 only dumb question is the one that doesn't goes unasked.
absolutely.
So before you get in over your head, don't be afraid to reach out and touch all bases.
Absolutely.
Super. Anything else?
Um, I don't have anything. Again, United Way is here to help not just military and veterans and service members. We're here for the entire community. So anyone is available to use any of United Way services, and we'll be happy to serve you. Give us a call. Check us out online. If you'd like to volunteer for any of our programs, if you go to our website at the bottom corner, there's a section for volunteers. You can click on that and see all of the events that we have available to volunteer for as well.
Super. So nice to know there's an enthusiastic person with a warm voice and a big smile to meet you at the other end, and
Yes.
someone who's kind of walked the walk and is dedicated to what they're doing.
Yes.
Wonderful. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.